This comes to us from Pirate Nation. I thought it was fascinating, especially in light of a comment that I received the other day. In fact, there were multiple comments. One of them that I shared publicly, but I saw multiple comments come through when I talked about the Mr. Beast AI thumbnails. And I told people I was not on board with Mr. Beast trying to use ChatGPT to have people just pay for what ChatGPT can already do. And I said, I don't have an issue with AI. I have an issue with someone trying to act like what they're doing is special when AI is for everyone and it's available for everyone. That was my problem. And people were like, the selective listening, they're like, you said you don't have a problem with AI. I'm unsubscribing. And I'm like, all right, like, bye. Like, if that's what it takes, if people draw a hard line on AI being used, it's like, okay, if that's the case, then I would like you to hear this out and hear what you think about it. Pirate Nation on X says, legendary game developer Masahiro Sakurai says that AI could relieve the stresses and long process of game development. So are these same people that are saying they're unsubscribing from me? Are they going to now start boycotting Smash Brothers or Nintendo in general because they're embracing it now? Is that or hold on, is it okay if Nintendo does? That is different because they know and it's fine because I'm sure they're still gonna be good and it's totally okay. Uh, so this originally, I think it got started. I tried to do research to finding it. And the original post got deleted, but this is where it first started from. And people are saying that the translation may have been mistranslated originally, but we're going to go through it because I think even retranslating it, it still says basically the same thing, just in a different way. Super Smash Bros. Director Masahiro Sakurai says large-scale game development is becoming too time-consuming and unsustainable. He believes generative AI is an option to improve work efficiency. And that's auto-translated. And here is the article that it came from originally. Let me bring it up here. I think it originally started on this one from Nintendo Soup. Masahiro Sakurai says AI is potential solution for time-consuming and unsustainable large-scale game development. Creator of Kirby and Smash Brothers shared some uncomfortable insights into the future of games development. But why is it uncomfortable, I wonder? Why would they say uncomfortable? Unless they're trying to pander to the people that are like very anti-AI. It's like, bro, like I get it. You do art and AI is threatening your career with that. I get it. But like, did the people that sold horses get mad at cars? Like, I know it's not a great one for one, but it's basically technology comes in and replaces what was used previously. In an interview with Yahoo Japan, Sakurai talked about how developing large-scale games is becoming increasingly time-consuming and unsustainable, and that developers will need to adapt in order to survive. He mentions that using AI in game development is one of the few solutions he can think of, which is a somewhat controversial statement, giving the poor opinion many gamers have of using technology in video games. I don't think it's many gamers, guys. I really don't. I think that this is the same NPC meme where people that can't think for themselves are being told what to think from other artists and stuff, and they get really angry for them because they're like, "Yeah, AI is stealing their jobs," and it's like, no, it's not. It's just a better use of technology. And if they aren't making something to sustain themselves, they need to adapt better and do something that can go past that, or use AI alongside what they're doing if their art is not good enough. Find a way to survive. Don't just bitch and moan and cry about technology coming in. That's like me saying, say a new platform comes out that's just like, I don't know, augmented reality, or I don't know, something that presents content to a viewer better, and I don't do it, and YouTube just slowly dies a slow death over the course of the next 3 years, and people just start migrating away from it. And I keep doubling down and tripling down on YouTube. And I'm just like, no, this is it. You guys are all wrong. And that technology is bad because this is what we should do. Don't use that. That stuff is bad because it's borrowing stuff from the technology that used to already exist, and that's stealing our jobs. It's like, no, I need to adapt personally. I need to find out where the best way to reach people is. And if it's not on YouTube anymore, I need to keep myself aware of where I need to be for that. That's why I started multi-streaming. One of the many reasons why I started multi-streaming, where you can find me on Kick and Rumble and also YouTube. I'm also on X as well. I'm in many different places. I'm also on smashjt.com. I try to put myself out there everywhere I can to make sure that I'm reaching people any way that's the best way for them to find me. I think that's the fair approach to things. If you're just an artist bitching about AI coming in and taking your job, it's like, well, damn, I guess that sucks, but I think you need to pull the lens back a little bit more and realize that maybe you need to do more if what you're doing with art is not sustainable enough. I think there's still a market for artists. I think there's definitely a market for people that want authentically drawn things and painted things. But it has become, in a lot of cases, prohibitively expensive for people to partake in that. And people they're like water. They'll find the easiest path of least resistance to follow to get the job done with what they need to do. Imagine me needing to pay someone for every single thumbnail that I made. Like, theoretically, I could have been doing that the whole time, but that would not be financially viable for me to do that. So you know what I did instead? I learned how to make a thumbnail. And now that I know how to make a thumbnail, I can make a thumbnail pretty quick. But there are some cases where I could make an AI thumbnail. Oh, okay. If it fits the bill of what I'm doing, I don't have an issue with that either. People that are scared of the technology are the ones that get left behind, especially if that technology becomes widely adopted. And I see AI becoming that thing in all walks of life. And now we have the dude over at Nintendo, super high up, Sakurai, sorry, can't even talk right now. Sakurai saying that he is embracing AI and saying that this could relieve a lot of stress from the development process. And it makes me wonder, I'm like, will the Nintendo drones hear this and be like, I guess we need to be on board with this because Sakurai said it's okay. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Here's the excerpt below from Machine Translation, so take it for what it's worth. To be honest, it's dark to see what's coming. I think if you try to make a large-scale game like the ones we have now, it's too time-consuming and unsustainable. I feel like we can't continue like this, but at the moment, the only effective solution I can think of is generative AI. I feel that we have reached a stage where we must change our schemes, such as using generative AI to improve work efficiency. I think that this will be an era in which only companies that can adapt to this change will survive. I mean, I don't know how that could be mistranslated or read a different way, because it sure as hell sounds like he's embracing AI with that one. But again, it's translated. There was also the other take from My Nintendo News with the Sakurai sees AI as a potential solution for improving development efficiency costs as costs soar, but they updated it saying update. It seems Game Infamous may have mistranslated some of the comments from the Yahoo Japan interview from Masahiro Sakurai, but that's all they say about it. And then they go on to the article that was there already, but they don't actually say what was mistranslated. Because I don't think anyone really knows. But this is the actual article from Yahoo Japan that gets translated. And it says, I feel like we can't continue like this, but at any moment, effective solution I can think of is generative AI. I feel that we have reached a stage where we must change our schemes, like the same thing I read earlier here. The indie market also has changes. With over 10,000 titles being released each year, it's difficult to stand out. Indie games have the appeal of freedom and creativity, but they also require a lot of effort, luck, perfection, and standing out in a crowd to succeed in the market. In that sense, it can be said that both large scale projects and indies are facing an unpredictable reality in different ways, which is very true. I feel like the gaming industry has reached a point of maturity, and it's almost, I don't want to say guaranteed to head for a crash, but the original crash back in the early 80s happened from oversupply, a surplus. And you could argue that in a weird way, we might be having like a quiet crash right now. And in fact, I think that's what's happening. And I don't really think I've heard anyone even say this, but with all the layoffs that continue to happen almost daily at this point from various companies, many of which we've never even heard of, indie studios, Kickstarter campaigns, double A studios, triple A studios, closing down studios, not just layoffs, but shutting down completely. Again, almost daily, every single day for the past 6 months. But yet more games keep coming out. So in a weird way, I feel like we might be living through a quiet crash right now. And like 2 decades from now or a decade from now, we look back at 2023 to 2027, like the post-COVID era of the game development period, where it was like it went mature and everything was balls to the wall being put out there, and it was not sustainable. And I think that's what's happening right now. But I mean, it depends on how you look at the situation. But at the end of the day, this is the future. You can embrace it, or you can be like this guy, Crossstorm, who said, "Dang, unsubscribing. You support AI. Hope you lose your lawsuit now." Which I was like, well, damn. Slap me in the face, then kick me in the nuts. Those two things are very unrelated, but okay. That's definitely something you could say, but I don't understand the correlation between the two. Just because I support AI, I don't know what that has to do with my lawsuit, but okay. I responded, unsubscribing because I used a tool. Hope your rotary phone gets a signal in 2025. AI isn't the enemy. Emotional instability in the comments section is. All I'm asking for is people to be logical and have some sort of ground reality on what they're talking about. If you say, hey, I don't support AI, I'm an artist, or someone in my family's an artist, or my best friend's an artist, and I really feel for them, they're struggling right now. Hey, I get it. You're welcome to that opinion. I'm not saying that you have to embrace AI. I'm just saying, for me, I see this to be the direction that everything's going. And whether you realize it or not, you are using AI in many different facets of everything you do almost every single day. And if that is something that you don't want to recognize, okay, but just know it's happening. Whether you want to embrace it or not, it's making your life a lot easier right now, and it will continue to. And the more you resist it, the more frustrated you'll be as time goes on, while you get left behind and everyone else continues to use it. But anyways, I'll leave that there. GDR for the 5-banger. AI won't reduce the cost of games, so I am against it. AI needs to benefit the customer. We aren't paying someone's salary, so ... I mean, there's something to be said for that. There's definitely something to be said for that. I almost wonder if AI has not been embraced enough to make a substantial difference in the cost of development yet. And I do wonder over time if that does start impacting the price of games. And you could almost argue that not AI necessarily, but game engines and pre-rendered assets already have saved developers a lot of time. And there are a lot of examples you could look at from AA studios that are making AAA looking games right now for $50. Now, I know you're always going to say Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Atomfall. What's the other one? There's been a lot of games that have come out just recently for the $50 price that are very good games. And it's like, well, maybe it is actually impacting the price of the games. It's just the greedy AAA studios are the ones that are going to be getting left behind because they're the ones asking for the $80 or more, which is nuts. Yeah, there's another one. Sergeant Sapien, Schedule 1. What was that? $18 or something? Like on launch week, it was 15 on sale. Crazy. A2B for the IDR 50,000 says AI won't replace decent artists. It's already peaking, and they are all generic soulless replicates. I'm an artist myself, by the way. IDR equals Indonesian rupiah. Thank you so much, A2B. Appreciate your support. And honestly, to be fair, to give both sides of this, my heart does go out to artists that are losing work because people are using alternate methods. I almost think it's a byproduct of the devaluation of currency. And it gets way far away from the video game world when we start talking about this stuff. But the devaluation of currency, people get less for their money. Everyone's asking for more. You get paid less relative to what everything costs. So people need to be smarter about how they're spending money. They have less disposable income. They have less money to spend on artists. And ergo, less artists are needed because people can't afford it. So it depends. It depends on how you look at the whole situation. But yeah.